Welcome everybody to the second installment of our Onward and Upward series, Special Event Ideas to Ignite Member Engagement. I'm Kristen Kirchville, Client Success Manager with Member Solutions, and I have with me today Sarah McGeehan, also Client Success Manager with Member Solutions.
Hey everyone. Sorry.
Just a little background on Member Solutions for those of you that who are not familiar with our services. We have been, since 1991, we have been providing member management and event management and billing services to the martial arts and fitness industry. We also provide ongoing business advice and expert tips on how studios can run efficiently and grow and maintain their member base. You know, a little bit about the Onward and Upward webinar series is, you know, in our last installment, we talked about getting back to in-person training and filling classes effortlessly. We talked a little bit about meeting, how you can do that with meeting physical distancing requirements, specifically using automation software to do the work for you, so you can spend more time with your members delivering great classes and building relationships with them. We also talked about communications, making sure where, you know, what information is important to relate to your members during this time, what protocols you put in place, and all of that great stuff. So that was our last installment. We will send the replay out to all of you on that one in case you want to catch up. So today we're moving on to topic number 2, right? So now that you've had the ability for them to reserve classes and all of that great stuff, now you want to, we want to work on how do you engage them? You have them there, they're registered, they're coming to class. How do you engage those members? So that's what we're going to talk to you about today is, you know, exactly how you do that through different event ideas and things of that sort. We do realize that some of you might not have the green light to open yet. Some of you might have been open for maybe a month at this point. You know, no matter your circumstances, these practices can be put in place at any time once you're resuming in-person classes to engage your members and reinforce the loyalty and retention aspects of your business. So first thing, we're going to dive in and we're going to talk about member appreciation events. I know it might seem a little crazy to be talking about that with, you know, a lot of physical distancing protocols and things of that sort, but we have a lot of ideas that we want to talk about today that would, you know, for events to host, and also how you can manage those aspects of it, the physical distancing aspects throughout it. So, Sarah, I know I've been doing a lot of talking so far. So, can you talk a little bit about, you know, some of the ideas? I know you and I were talking about like theme weeks and stuff like that. Like, what does that look like?
Exactly. So now that you have people, whether you're in person or your outdoor classes or whatever, it's time to reignite that passion that they have for being back at your facility, back in your business, and face to face with, you know, some of the other members of your business that they've probably been missing. But we do have to be smart about it in a lot of ways. So we've talked about doing, like you just mentioned, theme weeks or offering weekly raffles based on attendance and having prizes that will be, you know, really awesome for anyone to win, whether that's t-shirts or, you know, pro shop items or even money off of summer camps and things like that. So there's a lot of different ideas that you can kind of bat around. We were talking about, you know, at Member Solutions, Kristen, that we do an employee appreciation. Of course, that can be translated very easily to members instead of employees, although we should be recognizing our employees during this time as well. But some of the things that we've done with that big inflatable dice that we roll for certain prizes, jump in here because now it's all escaping me.
Of course, right? Right, where they can earn, like, I believe we were earning like raffle tickets and stuff like that that we could put in for different prizes. You know, that's really cool to do, you know, things of that sort. Also having like the theme days, you know, where you can have like Motivational Monday, you know, where, you know, they kind of share inspiring stories, you know, maybe some of the struggles that they've encountered during the pandemic and stuff and how they've overcome it. And more importantly too, you know, I know I've said this in the past, but the virtual training over the past, you know, handful of months have really helped some people get through the pandemic, right? I mean, it's just helped them keep that little bit of connection with their, you know, their fitness, their personal fitness goals, right? As well as being connected to their classmates or people that they would normally work out with, you know, other members and stuff like that. So it's nice to, you know, talk about some of those stories and things of that. Who knows? You might end up with some testimonials out of it too, right? That you can share to help drive business through social media and things of that sort. We also have like a Try It Tuesday when members can bring out, you know, family members and things of that sort. I know most people are like, yes, you know, capacity numbers, that'll drive it up. But you have to remember, those are people from the same household. So they can be within that 6-foot space and actually work with each other in class. Right. And then, you know, you have Wednesday workout where you can, you know, or Workout Wednesday, where you can kind of plug some new classes in, kind of try it out. You know, some of those classes that you've been like, I don't know if it'll catch or not. Now is the time to kind of put in those different elements, you know, things to see what is going to continuously engage your members, right? Yeah. I know another thing that we spoke about too is, you know, running, you know, different things like you were talking about with the dice and stuff like that, right? You right. can have it where, okay, if you roll a 7 or whatever, you get a shirt or a branded mask or something like that. You know, it's something where you can kind of easily kind of, you know, push out some swag and things of that sort. So there are ideas that you can do that are very small, and there are ideas that you can do that depend, it kind of depends on your budget, right? Not everybody has the budget to go out, buy a bunch of swag and, you know, kind of push it out there for free. So there are other things that you can do. You know, the raffle is also an inexpensive idea, and you can kind of put some cool things in there where you're not giving, you know, necessarily an item out to everybody, but they win a chance for a specific item. You know?
Right, and we can also, Kristen, if you don't mind my interjecting, we can also make this based on attendance, right? So we're rewarding more heavily the people that have been more engaged throughout these handful of months, as you've mentioned. So going forward, that will kind of give the push to the other members who maybe are falling off a little bit or not as engaged because they're not being forced to come into the facility. Right. It will give them more drive and motivation to participate more frequently because the prizes are better. So just another food for thought about the importance of attendance tracking during these times.
Exactly. And, you know, some of the other, you know, member appreciation event ideas too is we spoke about, you know, like a welcome back barbecue, right? Yep. So you can couple this with like a grand opening, a reopening, depending on what type of message you want to send, or even an open house. An open house works for any type of business, martial arts, fitness, anything at all. It all kind of works a little differently, right? All those businesses work differently, but open house kind of speaks the same language to everyone, right? So again, it's like, yes, open house, lots of people. There are different ways where you can manage things like the barbecue. You can have time blocks where people would register. So say if you're like, okay, we can only have 20 people at a time, we're gonna have 2-hour time blocks, you know, and that it's a good way to do that is by using event registration software where you can, you know, determine what the capacity is for each time frame and set up different time frames, and that'll help you manage that piece, right? Because you want to add a personal touch anywhere you can right now, because that's where you're going to engage members, you know, the most. But you also want to try to automate those pieces where the personal touch isn't going to matter so much, right? It's not going to matter if you're sitting there with a pen and pencil taking registrations, right, or if you have you know, registration software actually doing that for you, right? So if you do a barbecue, another good thing about that is you can keep it outdoors, right? Which can increase your capacity and allow you to have more people there at once and meet the physical distancing requirements. You know, again, you still want them to register because no matter what size your space is, most everybody right now has a capacity for the area, right? And you want to be sure you're not breaking those rules and stuff like that, those guidelines. So, with that open house, the barbecue, if that's something you can do on that scale, it all matters where your budget's at and how many members you have and how, at what level you're looking to engage them. So Sarah, I think you had some forms or something you wanted to show us to demonstrate how event manager can help with that capacity management.
Right. You hit on most of the major points, and the way that an event registration software will be able to accommodate that or support you in that is basically just by creating a very simple sign up. You don't need too much information, but what we are able to do is capture the name of the member that will be attending. We can set up those different time blocks, and with event registration software, you're going to be able to set capacities on each of those time blocks. So they can select, and it will limit, and it will gray out times that are already full into capacity. And then we can also suggest safe things for families to bring to help you out. Kristen did indicate, a lot of us have, I don't want to say struggling financially, but we felt an impact, right, in our industry, of course. So, if they're bringing bottled water, that's a safe thing to bring. Individually wrapped snacks and popsicles or paper products or other. And we can make it so that if they choose other, it can indicate, hey, this is what I would like to bring. If there happens to be any sort of issue, like we don't want to bring, something that kids are going to dig their hands into, like Chex Mix and things like that, we can just reach out to that member very easily and say, hey, if you wouldn't mind.
Right, let's bring portion cups as well. So that way they could be pre-portioned, right? Safer ways to do it.
Right, correct. And, with any of your software, registration software, whatever, terms and conditions, are always a good idea to just
waivers, yes.
that you want to make sure that they get aware of. But again, even with the terms and conditions, moving back to the top, you have full ability with the forms to be able to create, any information that you want to put up there. So if you want to put in big red letters, only the students can attend, right? This is a drop-off event, or only 2 family members can attend.
Right, maximum of, yeah.
Right. And every registrant's going to get a confirmation email, and after their submission, they'll be driven to the confirmation screen also that you can customize with any very important information that you want them to see last.
Right. Yeah, it's all good points. And kind of going back to, like you're saying, with the registrations and people having open houses, right? We're all tightening our belts on our budgets, right? Whether it be for our businesses or for personally, right? For our families and stuff, right? So basically, maybe you want to have an event and an open house, but maybe it's not something, a barbecue or something like that. Perhaps what you might want to do is, if you have yet to resume in-person classes, what'll help bring members back to class too is kind of setting their minds at ease a little bit, right? And so if you're saying, hey, I have to manage my capacity, so we need parents or guardians or whomever to drop children off and not enter the building, only the children can. As a parent, your heart kind of flutters a little bit, even though you know who you're dropping them off to, right? It's a new experience. It's new. What's gonna happen once they drop them off, right? Are they gonna be safe? Are they gonna be this? So we always recommend that people do a walkthrough, right? A video and post it on social media, email, stuff like that. But that's not suitable for everybody all the time, right? Not everybody's on Facebook or Insta or what have you, right? So sometimes they want to experience it, they want to see it for themselves. So part of an open house can be, hey, tour our new process, our new procedure, right? How people are going to come into classes. And that's something else that you can do, much like Sarah, you was explaining with the barbecue, right? They can create forms to say, okay, we're going to allow 10 people to tour between 12 and 1 and look at the facility, how things are set up now, how the sanitizing stations are there and all of that great stuff. So that's another thing that you can do. It's very low budget, it's something you're going to do anyway. Why not open it up to them? Maybe thank them with a small gift or something like that afterward, But at the very least, it's going to help your members come back, help them stay engaged, put their minds, parents' minds and members' minds at ease. But that's a really good point about the barbecues and stuff like that. And then while we're kind of talking about outdoor spaces, because I think that's kind of
where a
a
lot
big
of people are.
Right. A lot of people, they're trying to say, okay, how can we increase our capacity, right? Because when you have the 25% capacity or something like that, you're having classes throughout the day, right? You're working, 10 hours a day doing classes because you have to have that time in between to clean. We were talking about something that was really interesting, and can you tell us a little bit more about some ideas on utilizing that outdoor space?
Yeah, outdoor is amazing just because what's going to happen is even your members, they're going to be traveling, they're going to be, going to the grocery store, getting gas or whatever. And if they happen to go by your facility or by the park that's local to your facility and see classes are happening in a safe manner, that's just going to give them more confidence to be able to say, yes, I can do this. I'll do the Zoom classes in the facility days. I'll join the outdoor facility. And all of a sudden now they're feeling that camaraderie, that group feeling again that they've been missing for a little while staring at a screen. And it's just going to that much further increase. Another really good point to it though is that if you're able to do it local to your facility, if you have space out front specifically or out back and there might be traffic and you can set this up, what you're also going to hopefully see is people that are driving by that aren't members. Like, oh, look at that. I've been stuck inside all this time and look at these people over here doing something. Oh, I see the name of the building. Let me look that up. So, they go to your website and you should say now offering outdoor classes, offering outdoor classes in conjunction with online instruction. And this can help to bring that small piece of sales and marketing back into boosting those member numbers.
Mm-hmm. Right. So even if you might not have it might be too hot right now in a lot of areas, right, and stuff like that. So even if you can't do it every day, that's not what we're suggesting, but even if you can't do it every day, maybe weaving in a class or two per week outdoor might help to bring some of those people back that might feel a little bit reluctant about coming indoors. Because if there's one thing that we're seeing a theme, is, especially from like CDC and stuff like that, is, hey, you have less of a risk outdoors doing an activity outdoors than you do indoors. So for people who, kind of that message sticks in their head, they might be more comfortable doing something outside. So even though you have the ability to do it indoors, you may want to consider contacting your local community center or something like that, or Parks and Rec, just to see if you can just maybe once a week use an outdoor space to facilitate a class,
Sure.
and help bring those people back in.
Yeah, a little off topic too. We had mentioned this the other day, Kristen, while we were talking. I coached cheerleading for a while, and there was a practice space that we had that was not air conditioned in any way during the summer with 80 girls, But a bunch of us just purchased from Amazon those cooling towels. So if you are planning on doing,
those are wonderful. Yes.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Right, you basically just wet them and they stay cold and they can wrap and clip around the neck, and that really starts to cool people down. So there's lots of different things and ideas you can provide to your members if you are offering outdoor classes and they are concerned about the heat, even if it's not a 96-degree day.
Or depending on your budget, see if you can brand some.
Yep.
And exactly. Yeah, that's a very good point, Sarah.
Right. That way, yeah, people aren't overheating too much. And of course, we don't want to use any public water fountains or anything like that. So let's ask them to make sure they bring plenty of water. We have plenty of creeks. And another idea about the indoor-outdoor that one of my clients had suggested and is doing is that they have multiple staff members. So this will be, kind of necessary, but half the class is done indoor to maintain capacity on the indoor space, and half the class, like conditioning, warm up, things like that, anything that's stand up is done outdoor. And then there's a 10-minute break in between. Everyone cleans the inside, the staff cleans the inside, and the group switch. So you can kind of split half and half class indoor, outdoor.
Right. Yeah, that's an interesting approach. I haven't heard that one before. But yeah, I mean, if you have the exit entry system to manage that, that's definitely a good option.
Absolutely.
And they can get some water, kind of, do that break, the members, the students in between. Totally.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
And I was just saying that one of the other things that we should kind of focus on too is that a lot of these members have been training at home. With that being said, a lot of the other family members in the home have been seeing and or forcibly being forced being forced to participate, right, Kristen?
Right, that kind of leads us exactly into where I was kind of going with this, is the membership specials and
Yeah.
family discounts. So, right, a lot of, I mean, you kind of want to, dangle out a membership special, of course, for the individual member that's going to sign up, right? But what we kind of predicted pre-COVID, when COVID started, is that we're going to see a rise in family memberships coming out of this, right? And you're exactly right, and we did, and it's wonderful, right? So we're seeing a ton of that, because they're, like you were saying, so many of the parents that might have been taking their children, they might have been shy or reluctant or whatever. So really, when they're kind of practicing at home, and I know I've told some of you listening to the story, but when COVID had started and my son's martial arts studio went to virtual classes, there was like maybe 2-3 classes deep. They said, okay, if you have a partner, grab a partner. And he was like, so he made, I took a 15-minute break, ran downstairs, and was able to be basically his grappling dummy that day. 15 minutes later, I'm limping up the stairs, but I'm like, hey, that was really cool, and he was super happy about it. So even like you're saying with the family memberships, it's likely if you offer them, you're gonna see an increase in those. So why not throw out that family offer to,
Right.
seal the deal, pull that in,
Right, and there's so many different ways you can do this. You can utilize your online registration system to capture their whole first month. So being able to offer tiered-based discounts, you know what I mean? So if you have 2 family members signing up, it gives you 20% off the price. But if 3 family members sign up, you get 35% off that first month, right? Like Kristen had mentioned, they've been participating in some way or another, or they've been seeing it more. And I talked to a client yesterday who teaches predominantly children, and he said, kids don't quit martial arts, parents do.
Mm-hmm.
So if we can get these family members to sign up, we're going to have much more engagement and longer relationships with our existing members, because now there's buy-in from the whole family.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah,
Yep.
so being able to capture all of that information and being able to have those specials predominantly placed on your website and capture all of the different information, it's just going to make life much easier for you. And we can make it so simple that we can capture the information about every member of the family and still be able to, offer them that great discount for the first month. And people are going tons of different ways with their membership specials that they're offering right now. People are doing full summer program, pay in full, and then if they sign up by a certain date, let's say, before Labor Day, they'll get that 1 month that they already paid for the summer taken off of their membership cash price, the full price. Mm-hmm. So, hey, you sign up for the summer special now, but 2 weeks in, hey, if you sign up before Labor Day, we're going to give you that much money off of your membership agreement.
Right.
You know what I mean? Giving them a reason to say, yeah, I think I want to go half summer with this.
Right, and that's going to be especially tricky because a lot of us still don't know what the back to school, season, like, it's going to look like at this point in time. So it's nice to have that available. So that way, once you have in your area an idea of what that looks like, you can kind of push that special through depending on, what back to school is going to be. So
right, but I do think that all over the country, and again, like, there's no valid proof of anything that will or can happen, but we're going to see a combination. Excuse me. We're going to see a combination of in-person school versus virtual school versus it's going to just be different everywhere we look. So having something that remains consistent and y'all continuing to offer an online version of what you're doing, live streaming your in-person classes, doing switch outs on certain night. Group A comes Monday, Wednesday, group B comes Tuesday, Thursday, but You go virtual the nights that you're not in school, things at the facility, just different things like that. But keeping that virtual going for a while is going to be key, and making sure that you're presenting your specials so that people know virtual is a part of that.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yep. Yeah, that's definitely super important. And thanks for showing that event manager form there. It does make life a lot easier and allows people to, sign up for that special right online. That's it's a really good point. Some of the other things too that we had talked about previously, it's like, okay, so you're welcoming people back to in person, you're offering specials to bring people in, and don't forget about upgrades too. You
Right.
want to be offering upgrade specials, for your programs to your existing members too.
Yes.
That helps, that helps capture updated information if you've been, not billing for a while or something like that. I mean, if you have a full service billing company using us for full service billing, we're doing that for you. You know what I mean? We're finding when the information's invalid, we reach out to your members, we capture new information, we do all that stuff. But in the event that you don't have, full service billing provider working for you to do that, some of your information might be stale,
Right.
or numbers, things of that sort. So you want to do that. But so you're going through all this process, welcoming people back, doing all that great stuff. But the thing that you don't want to forget is to actually thank your members. Okay.
Yes.
Because during, Sarah and I see this every day, and we've seen this, for the past several months, is some people decided to freeze their member billing. Some people said, hey, we see value in virtual classes. We hope you do too. We're going to, continue your payments, and, for that, we're giving you X. And
right.
Another way was, hey, we're hoping that you would continue making your payments as a donation to the school. And either way, if they continue with their payments, a lot of our clients said, hey, we'll make good on it later. You know what I mean? So you want to be sure that you're thanking your member, regardless if you said we'll make good on it later, or if they just continue to support you because you're just amazing, right? I had so many clients who come back to me, was like, I was trying to freeze their payments, but they won't let me, and that's fantastic. And that actually happened for quite a few of clients that I work directly with. They're like, they just won't let me, they want to keep paying, and that's a good problem to have, right? So you want to thank them. So we have talked about in the past what we call thank you vouchers, and basically you have these vouchers that say, okay, this is the value of this voucher, $150, $300, whatever, and these are the things you can use it toward, right? So there are certain things, aspects of your business that you should automate, and there are certain aspects of your business that require your personal touch. This is one of them that requires your personal touch, right? So you want to either go to Vistaprint and have cards personalized with your school logo, stuff like that. Write your personal message in there to thank you for their support during the, during your the period of time where you're unable to have in-person classes, right? And put a thank you voucher. Matter of fact, we created templates for you that you can download and customize through Canva. We'll send the link to all of that in the instructions with the replay to this. But basically, the thank you voucher, just saying, hey, we appreciate it. But in the card, you want to handwrite your message. Hey, thank you. Johnny was a rock star, attended so many of our virtual training classes. Trust me, this is worth it. This is worth taking the time to personalize it and stick the thank you voucher in there, print them out, stick it in there. And on the thank you voucher, you just want to let them know where to go to redeem it. And that's where the piece comes in, that you don't need to have such a personal touch, that you can automate, is the redemption aspect of it, right? So Sarah, you have, I see there, you, thank you for putting it up, you have a thank you voucher there. Can you talk a little bit more about that process and all of that end of it that you can automate?
Yes. And again, no matter how many students you have, I mean, the more students you have, for the most part, you should have some staff available to help you out with this. Make sure you're personalizing those cards that you're sending to each of your members or giving to each of your members with something specific that they did really well during this virtual training. Just as Kristen had said, nothing will ever replace the personal touch, especially in a business where so many people stepped up and said, hey, we know things don't look the same, but we're here to support you.
Mm-hmm.
Genuine appreciation, personalized appreciation, nothing can really replace that. But we don't need to deal with the, okay, check mark here, write a list of here, this is what we offered you and this is how you're going to use it. So why don't, this is one example of what our thank you voucher looks like that you'll be able to download, as Kristen had said. I had modified it here to indicate that it was a $50 value that can be used for summer camp, seminar, or pro shop. So depending upon what it is that you offer, you can just make choices that aren't really going to massively hurt your bottom line. Right now is the time for investment in time, because we don't want to really hit the money part. So pro shop, of course, that would hit your, your spend. But when you offer a seminar on, women's self-defense, or you do offer summer camp and give them $50 off, sure, you're putting out the effort for that summer camp. You're not really spending that $50 that they're using. So it's definitely beneficial. And when you have a system that will allow them to redeem what it is that they would like to use it for, now you have a very organized reporting structure that allows you to export or print the list so that you always know, and you can just check it off when it's done, check it off when it's done, check it off when it's done. And you know exactly who used it. And there is actually hidden management fields within Event Manager. I'm not sure about other online registration systems where we can indicate on the back end and they would never see that, yes, this has already been redeemed. So only show me people who haven't redeemed yet. But very simple. All I did was add a quick drop-down box, first name, last name, and email, terms and conditions if you'd like to include those for this, and a quick drop-down box that says, hey, this is what I'm going to use it for.
Yeah, and that's good, especially good for options and things of that sort. If people choose not to go that route for event manager for the end of it, you can simply customize the thank you voucher with a standard thing, like Sarah mentioned earlier, a special seminar that you're going to host. So hey, as a thank you, you can attend this seminar at no cost. Just bring this voucher with you. I like the opportunity for people to choose how they want to spend it, because that makes it feel more like it has that monetary feel to it. You know what I mean? So that's good. And the other thing too, Sarah, that we hadn't mentioned earlier is by writing the cards, and I hate to beat this horse dead, is you're giving them something physical.
Yes.
Instead of just sending them the link to the event manager form to say, hey, thank you, choose your thing, right? You're actually giving them something physical. And that's really what the personal touch is all about.
Correct.
So that's really good. I appreciate that, Sarah. I know we're kind of running out of time here a little bit, and I know you and I could talk all day about this, about all these certain things and stuff like that. And just kind of wrapping up a little bit here. There are so many ideas, to host these, to show your members appreciation, right? And we've given you ideas from no budget to, hey, I got some, like a good sized budget. So find out what works for you. The worst thing you can do is do nothing at all. That's the worst thing you can do. And that's actually going to cost you money in the long run, is not investing to engage your members. And most importantly, thank them for their time, for their support, and all of that stuff. The last couple things that we want to talk about, I know, Sarah, you had some tips on how to promote and run these successful events and stuff like that, but just to touch on it just super quick.
Yeah.
What I'm seeing a lot of is clients coming to me and saying, Kristen, I need help. We get approved to host summer camps and we didn't think we were going to be able to, right? What can I do? I can start doing it as quick as next week or the week after. And we all know that summer camps can drive some pretty good revenue, right? Yeah. And we don't want to lose that. A lot of businesses that I work with rely on that revenue, so they're at the ready, right, constantly. So can you just show me real quick how if somebody runs into the situation where they can have a summer camp, how event manager can help them there too.
Yeah, absolutely. So with the summer camp portion, of course, you're going to have different weeks that you offer, and you're going to have different amounts of members, students, children that you can actually have at, in, or around your facility at any given time. So understanding what that criteria is super important. But within 20 minutes, you can have this form set up that gives you that breakdown. So they can select as many weeks. You know, we have different ways that we can set this up. If you have a limit on how many weeks people are allowed to choose. So there's a bunch of different ways that you can manage that. But again, these different fields here will have the ability to set a capacity. So again, week 1 will be grayed out once it's full and somebody else cannot choose it. Just capturing all of the parent and guardian information, the medical information that's necessary for the camper, and done. And then what you have is a very easy way to create rosters of who's attending, anything that we need to know about them, and emergency contact information on one form that we can provide to each of our camp staffers. So a lot of you are going to find out at the very last minute that, yes, oh gosh, I can do 4 weeks of summer camp, and I think I'm going to try because there's some more parents going back to school. Call us. We can have you set up super quick within the criteria that's required for you.
I had some clients sell out within 48 hours.
Yes.
Because of the options. They're just,
everything's so limited right now. People are not very quick to jump, but I feel like our audience here today have been very responsive to the quick changes that are happening, just given the nature of the businesses that we serve. So this is just another opportunity for our clients to be able to jump in very quickly when they get the go, and they're going to make it there quicker than some other options that might be out there that are dragging their feet a little trying to figure out the logistics. You guys have figured out the logistics already with classes.
Real quick before we have to wrap up,
yeah.
Can you talk about very quickly the best practice tips to promote and run events, and what we have for anybody watching or listening today?
Yeah, so first and foremost, we're going to send you I'm just going to look at my notes here. So we're going to send you the 12-step event checklist. I want to make sure I don't miss any of this because this is really good stuff. This is going to give you the elements of planning and promoting and running events, just to make sure that you get the information out to the people that you need to get it out to, how to get the information back to you that you will need to make sure that you have everything necessary to make everything go off without a hitch. But here's a few things that you all can do. What I'm hearing from my clients right now is, new students are always the bread and butter. And right now what we're relying on is maintaining our existing members, which of course is important, but we always need to get new people into the facility because that's what facilitates growth. So maybe as uncomfortable as you might feel, let's consider having a blog on your website. This is going to boost your presentation, where you show up in different searches. So making sure that you're not just blogging about how great my school is and what I can offer you. Let's talk about the things that you are an expert in. So if that is self-defense or anti-bullying, or you have a program that focuses on weight loss or anything like that, make sure you're writing articles with factual information so that when people search those terms around you, your website's going to pop up. That's going to drive some new. And then they're going to see that beautiful banner at the top of your website with the summer special that you're offering, or the adult special that you're offering, whatever it is. But once they get to that blog and they see that special and they can see that they can choose in-person versus virtual, or a combination of both, or however you work that out, it's going to make people feel much better about moving forward. Social media. You don't have to spend $1,000 a month on social media, Facebook ad advertising. Right now is the time that you appeal to your members who have supported you through all of this to say, hey, I need your help again. So I'm going to post this special. Please share it for me. Please please get it out to your audience as well. We would love to have here's the special that we're offering, here's a free week for a friend of yours, and also we're going to offer prizes to whoever gives us the most referrals. This is not different, but right now, it is something that you need to focus more heavily on than maybe just the standard marketing things that you've done. Let's push that referral program even more, or just ask our members to create some video testimonials on their cell phone, send you the videos and post them so that people can understand, hey, the in-person versus virtual, having that choice to do both is really
good. You can even create a referral form with Event Manager too.
Right.
So I know we gotta wrap up pretty quickly here.
Yep.
What do we have for Event Manager?
Yep, so we are offering a $1 for the first month special. Event Manager is great because you don't need an external merchant processing account. It's already all included in the program. So we can Event Manager can host as many forms as you want. So if you wanted to do all of these events, you can create forms for every single one. And there's no limit to that. And our training and support team is there to help you get it up and running. It is a very easy to use program. It is very comprehensive. It's very customizable. So I think
it's not just a, hey, add it to my cart and sell it type of thing.
Right.
It's pretty, yeah.
If you need specific information, there's great ways and dependent fields and all of that good stuff to make sure that you're getting what you need.
And communication too.
Yes, absolutely. This allows you to set up frequent or future emails to send out. It will send automatic emails. It'll also send an automatic email once they register as a receipt, kind of. So yeah, you have a lot of different ways that you can communicate with different audiences. So if you only want to communicate with summer camp week 1 kids, you can absolutely do that.
Awesome. And we'll include this in the communication that we send out as well, a little bit more details regarding that if anybody would like a tour, or to, take advantage of the $1 first month offer. Sarah, I appreciate your advice and all of that stuff and ideas today. I wanted to let everybody know too that we will have a 3rd installment in our Onward and Upward series in 2 weeks, and where we'll talk a little bit more about what's next, right? So as you can imagine, we spoke about how to get members in, we talked about how to engage them. Now we're going to talk about the hard stuff next time. So keep an eye out. That one's gonna be a little bit more interactive, and we're looking forward to hearing your questions and answering them too. Sarah, anything else that you wanted to add today?
I'm all good.
All right, well, thank you everybody for joining us. And if you have any questions, definitely feel free to reach out to us in the email that includes the replay, the voucher, the offer, the tips, all of that great stuff. We will also have information on how you guys can communicate should you have any additional questions.
Okay.
Thank you all. Have a great day. Thanks, Sarah.
Bye, everyone.